Who are you?
I am a burning ball of fire that comes from the main supplier. I am an artist, an activist. I am a creative. I am Joshua Bobby Hughes. I'm a senior mathematics major, secondary education minor from Queens, New York, by way of Sicklerville, New Jersey. And yeah, man, I'm an artist.
And I kind of want to touch on you being a math major real quick, because you just said that you're an artist also. What was the idea of being a math major? Did you come in wanting to be a math major and then the artistry kind of just built up over time? Or were you just an artist the entire time and the math was just an initiating plan?
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely an interesting story of how it came about. I've always been a very creative person, and I've always loved to express myself in any and every way possible. My original major when I first came to college was education. I was an education major, and in doing so, I thought about what subject I really wanted to teach. And I knew it would be fun to teach art or teach something with a little bit more creativity, but really thinking about why I went to Howard and how I really want to impact Black people as a whole, and just knowing that mathematics is something that it's an area that's not always understood, and it's very important. It's a language that explains how life works and how things move in relation to each other. So just combining my personal expression with mathematical expressions, being able to use my knowledge as a resource to educate and motivate.
And what is your main vessel for creating? Is it art, music?
I would say my main vessel is music, and not just singing, songwriting, music production, but also instrumentation. I grew up playing the piano and the keyboard, and in learning that, I also gained passion for other instruments. And I played the saxophone throughout middle school and parts of high school. I played the drums in church, and more recently I've been picking up the bass guitar. So just really falling in love with the way sounds tell stories and the way sounds can convey energy.
And recently you just hosted the Howard Fall Fashion Show. How was that?
Man, that was amazing. That was honestly one of the highlights of my time here at Howard, just because being somebody who carries a lot of energy into whatever space I walk into, that energy may not always be accepted, or it may not always feel like the right thing for that time, but so thankful for that opportunity, because they literally told me to just go up there and be myself. And I didn't have any real script. I didn't have anything that I had to conform to or to practice, really. I just went up there and was vibing. And from the feedback that I've gotten, a lot of people had a good time as well. And I just wanted everybody to have as good of a time as I was.
And I kind of want to ask you about just being a Black man and being an artist. Do you feel like there's a lot of pushback in certain spaces where they feel like you shouldn't dress the way that you dress, you shouldn't act the way that you act, you shouldn't be as free as you are? If there is pushback, how do you deal with it?
Man, of course. I was just having this conversation with another one of the amazing artists that was out in the lobby waiting. We as Black people, as Black creatives, are the blueprint. And we have been the blueprint for a lot of the things that, our society will just adopt has come from us. And so we have to be very intentional about the energy that we're putting into what we create, and also the end goal of our creativity. Because as a Black man, we have the biggest target on our back and on our front. So people are constantly watching us, constantly waiting for us to slip up, or either waiting for us to slip up and take our chance from us, or turn our slip up into a way for them to profit, whether it be through, the prison system or mainstream music or entertainment, which is basically paying these black men to push these negative agendas into the youth so that, you know, they grow up idolizing murder and, you know, these negative things, when we really have to just, like I said, be intentional about the energy that we're putting into it, why we're doing what we're doing, and just thinking about the effects of our art and of our creativity.
How do you feel like your art is changing the narrative?
That's a great question. I feel like my art is changing that narrative because one thing that I strive for and that I really just bleed through my art is authenticity. And I say that with the loosest definition ever, because authenticity is really however you define it as an individual. A lot of times, especially nowadays, due to the technology and all of the different social vessels that we subject ourselves to, but people are trying, less and less do you find people creating their own ideas and, you know, creating something that they like regardless of how other people feel about it. A lot of times, you know, mainstream media pushes us to kind of conform into one liking or one avenue. And one thing that I really try to do through my art, whether it be through my music, through my visual art, through my clothing, is really just try to advocate for my pure, authentic expression. And what that means is, you know, being just Josh, being true to everything that I find beautiful, and trying to magnify that through God, through positive relationships, and through positive affirmations. You know, our art is a mirror in a way that it allows us to reflect on ourselves. And so the energy that you put into it is the energy that you are going to receive from it, or that you see out of yourself.
And what does success with your creativity look like for you?
Success through my creativity looks like me being able to put a smile on my face through my art first and foremost, and then if other people are driven to smile through that as well, then that is success. I don't define success in a quantity, because I feel like, you know, you can have the most shows or the most sold records or anything, but if you're not happy with it yourself, and if it's not making other people feel good or feel happy, then what are we really working towards? And so I think success is just to have that positive energy, whether it be through a song, a show, or just a regular human interaction.